To our beloved Bishop, Seriaco Q. Francisco, to our district superintendents, my fellow workers, pastors and deaconesses, to all our lay members of this blended and virtual annual conference, and to our friends and guests, a pleasant and blessed day to all. On the onset, during our normal condition, making a report was not burdensome, and you can get the data needed for the report properly and accurately. But now, when the pandemic came, situations became hard, especially in conducting in person meetings, receiving reports, and correct data, which is very essential in making a realistic and accurate report to come up with the needed recommendations for the conference's adoption and implementation. Reviewing all the reports submitted by your Director of Connectional Ministries based from our official journals, starting from our 10th regular session up to the 12th regular session of PACC Cavite, I would say and suggest to both our clergy and lay leadership to use this as references to look back on our conference's various ministries, especially the report and recommendations acted upon during our 11th regular session of PACC Cavite, which is on page 85 to page 95. The said DCM report in May 20, 2019 at the 11th session covers the first half of the quadrennium. These would draw us back to what our annual conference had accomplished in the first 2 years of doing ministry under normal condition. This will also be helpful for our annual conference and local churches to reconsider the two specific recommendations acted upon and the conference had adopted during the PACC 11th session. It's about the Now Ministries Program Guide, and the second one is the suggestion, membership audit, and upgrading membership role. Please see appendices. The report that I will be presenting is based from the 11th session DCM's report that covers the first 2 years of the quadrennium and including a survey conducted last March 26, 2021 to 32 regular local churches of the conference through their respective administrative pastors, covering the year ending December 2019 and year ending December of 2020. So here in our slide, this is the content of this report. Part 1 is about the pandemic's effect as reflected in various profiles of the annual conference. The second part is about the areas of focus needed to continue during pandemic. And part 3 is the Board of Church and Societies profile covering January 2020 to May 2021. And the part 4 is virtual and online ministries assessment. Part 5, new or innovative ministries and best practices of our conference. And the last part is the needed webinars, training, and workshops. And next is the conclusion and recommendation. So let's move on to part 1 of the report. The pandemic's effect as reflected in PACC's various profiles. Let's start with the workers' profile, the summary of workers' profile. As seen in this table, the total number of workers in PACC Cavite is 46. There are 25 elders, 2 deacons, 7 local pastors, 4 student pastors, 7 deaconesses, and 1 lay minister. The pandemic has no direct effect in the number of workers continually doing their ministry, but the effect is in the way how to do their ministries. They have to adopt the new normal approaches in conducting ministries. Another effect is in the adjustment in the financial support they receive, especially during lockdowns. The second to this is the summary of our annual conference membership beginning January 2017 and ending December of 2020, the whole quadrennium. A decrease in total membership of 62% is seen in this table from year 2017 to year 2020. The annual conference commitment at the end of the quadrennium is a minimum increase of 5% in the total membership, or from 3,210 in year 2017 to at least 3,371 in year 2020. So yun po ang target natin pagdating ng end ng year 2020, nasa 3,371 na po tayo. Before the pandemic, beginning year 2017 and ending year 2019, there was an increase of 2.12%. Nakuha na po natin nung first 2 years yung 42.4% of our targeted 5% increase. Yet, because of the lockdown and restrictions of mass gathering at the middle of March 2020, the momentum to increase was affected tremendously. Next is the average worshippers profile. So there was an increase of 4% of the average worship attendance from the beginning of January 2017 to the end of December 2019, na wala pang pandemic noon. Tingnan ho natin yung kasunod na report dito, magkaduktong po ito, the percentage of members attending worship. So para makita po natin yung profile kung ilan po ang out of doon sa total membership, ilan po doon yung dumadalo sa atin po mga worship services. So from this table, we can see that from the year ending 2019 to the year ending 2020, during pandemic, there was a decrease in membership from 3,278 to 3,190, or 3% decrease. Though there was a 1% increase in professing membership, the 8% decrease in baptized members was probably caused by retrenchment of jobs due to economic difficulties and lockdowns that made most affiliate members to go back or to go home, to their respective hometowns with their families. The other valid reason for the decrease in the number of baptized members was the membership audit conducted by most local churches that corrected our membership statistics. On the other hand, although there was no mass gathering and in-person worship services in our church buildings because of IATF restrictions, it is surprising to note that there seems to be an increase of 3.9% in worshipers, probably because of online worship services. So yung mga hindi nakakadalo sa ating face-to-face, dahil kasama ng pamilya na nag-online, doon na sila nakakasimba. According to our latest survey, 53% of total members are attending worship services compared to year 2019 of 50% before the pandemic. Okay, next is the number of Titers, PACC Cavite Titers profile. From the year 2017 to the end of year 2019, there was an increase of approximately 30.54% in the number of Titers. But from 1,090 number of Titers, it was reduced to 933 Titers during pandemic, or a decrease of 14.4% of Titers at the end of the year 2020. Probably due to restrictions in face-to-face worship. Another valid reason was the retrenchment of our members due to closure of businesses and economic difficulties during this pandemic. The minimum increase targeted at the end of quadrennium is 40%. Yun po yung gusto natin i-target at the end of 2020. We achieved 30.54% increase by the end of the year 2019 do sa first 2 years natin. Kaya sana konti na lang yung bubunuin. But due to pandemic, we only achieved sa kabuuan an increase of 11.8% at the end of the year 2020. So malaki pong effect ng ating pandemic. The next part is about the areas of focus needed to continue during pandemic. So this is part of the survey conducted on March 2021. Okay, so according to this chart of March 2021 survey, the top 3 of the MEA focus areas that need to continue or prioritize, this is according to our pastors no, na gumawa ng survey na ito, are the following. Developing vital congregation got 71.9%, ministry with the poor got 6.3%, and developing principal leadership got 53.1. No? Surprisingly, although we are in a pandemic, the focus on the issue of global health seems a lesser issue among our workers. Mas naka-focus po yung ating mga manggagawa doon sa ministry rather than dito sa nangyaring pandemic based on these statistics. Pero syempre, iba pa yun noong March eh. Ngayon po ay meron ng vaccination, maaring mas tumaas na po yung ating kagustuhan na mas marami pang pag-aaral na gagawin regarding this. Okay, ito pong part 3, yung Board of Church and Societies report will be shared to us by Reverend Inocencio Malenag.
Ito pong mga aktibidad ng Board of Church and Society para sa ating conference year 2020 to 2021. Una, number 1, noong January 12, 2020, both district and PACC Cavite youth responded to help Taal eruption victims and evacuees by giving reliefs in 7 barangays in Dasmariñas and about 700 individuals housed in Cavite Integrated School. Board of Church and Society also donated 6,000 pesos to sustain the daily meal of evacuees that were housed at Barangay Ginhawa. Ito po ang isang excerpt sa update mula po sa Tagaytay UMC. Ang sabi po rito, last Sunday, January 12, 2020, at around 3 p.m., a volcanic eruption started to emit heavy smoke from Taal volcano. By 7 p.m., we experienced a series of volcanic tremors. The wind blew northeast bound, prevented heavy ashfall to our place. The most affected area of heavy ashfall was the northeast area of Tagaytay, like Olivares, Development Academy of the Philippines, People's Park, down to Silang and Dasmariñas areas. Monday, evacuees from Laurel and Sampaloc, Batangas were brought to Barangay Asisan, wherein Tagaytay UMC is located, and other neighboring barangay. An estimate of 150 individuals are on those areas. In January 14, Barangay Asisan and Barangay Newgans evacuees were brought to the evacuation center of Barangay Ginhawa and joined other evacuees. An estimate of 1,000 evacuees are on the said site. For immediate medical attention and medical supplies was the primary reason for joining those 3 neighboring barangays. According to the barangay officials, cooked food and medicines are the primary needs. Number 2 is February 22, 2020. Boards of Church and Society held its annual bloodletting in cooperation with the Philippine National Red Cross held at Mount Pisgah, UMC. This event was sponsored by Brother Tony Magno and assisted by their church members. Number 3, September 2020, Board of Church and Society announced through the social media about the webinar of increasing our capacity for justice amidst pandemic, which was held September 19, 2020. Number 4, October 10, 2020, both districts participated by posting on social media about our stand on death penalty. Number 5, activity. October 31, both districts responded and provided help to the victims of Super Typhoon Rolly and Ulysses by giving relief goods, cavans of rice, especially in Catanduanes, and providing financial help through the Manila Episcopal area. Number 6, November 2, 2020, provided relief goods for fire victims of Barangay Sinigualasan in Bacoor City, Cavite. Number 7, donated blood for Reverend Jimmy Sembrano's wife. Donor is from UCCP, donated for replenishment in the blood bank of De La Salle. Number 8, November 3, 2020, donation drive by CEF Kabataan for the fire victims who were in Barangay Lima and Barangay Sinigualasan. A number of families affected. In Barangay Lima, there are 337 families, or equivalent to 1,416 individuals. Number 2, Barangay Sinigualasan, 65 families, or 275 individuals. The evacuation centers were in Bacoor Elementary School, Alima, 64 families, 271 individuals from Sinigualasan. Number 2 evacuation center is Alima Elementary School, 290 families in equivalence of 1,233 individuals. And number 3 is Jesus is Lord Church as an evacuation center for 1 family and 4 individuals. Number 4 is Alima Senior High School, 33 families, 133 individuals, with a total of 338 families, or 1,641 individuals. This endeavor is participated by the CEF Kabataan, which were unified themselves to bring sacks of in-kinds of goods, clothes, shoes, bags, and other donations to the Eastern Bacoor National High School to be distributed to the said barangays or evacuation centers. Number 9, December 9, 2020, in celebration of the International Human Rights Day, the PCC Board of Church and Society and Board of Women's, sila po ay nag-imbita ng isang webinar na ang topic ay Online Human Rights Orientation at 7 p.m. na nadaluhan po ng inyong lingkod. Number 10, Palapala Community Pantry. Ito po yung dalawang churches, namely Palapala UMC, as ang kanilang administrative pastor ay Reverend Homer Retana. Ang sabi po sa excerpt ng kanyang report, Palapala Community Pantry is a barangay program in Sampaloc 1 of the Dasmariñas City, Cavite, which was initiated by the Palapala United Methodist Church. It is started all by a member of Palapala UMC, which is a vlogger with a relatively wide followers in her activities. Through the proper coordination with the barangay Captain Melencio Licot Jr., the first Palapala Community Pantry was held in April 25, 2021 at the Palapala UMC open ground, which was participated by almost 500 neighboring individuals within the community. Surprising moments during the Palapala Community Pantry were nameless close-by neighbors of our church who voluntarily brought their food items to share while the community pantry was ongoing. Among the volunteers to secure the safety and orderliness were the barangay officials, fraternity group, private individuals, and some church members. The second round of Palapala Community Pantry was held in May 2, 2021. It was bigger than the first in terms of donations in cash and in kind. Barangay Captain Melencio Ligot Jr. was on site and personally enforcing the health protocols of every participant. We started and ended with a prayer led by Reverend Homer Letana. Indeed, it was a great joy to help the struggling people in the community in this very challenging time. Rewarding and fulfilling experiences surround whenever we grab the opportunity to create a caring community. The boundaries of sect and religious affiliation have been put aside to accomplish a higher purpose for which the Lord Jesus has called us. Many churches have followed suit, and the amazing result of the Bayanihan spirit has impacted communities far and wide. Putting it more accurately, it is said in the Gospel of Matthew 25, verse 40, and I quote, "The king will reply, truly, I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of those brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." To God be the glory, as quoted from Reverend Homer Letana's report. And also, Mount Pisgah United Methodist Church, their administrative pastor was Reverend Noel S. Kua. Here is an excerpt from Pastor Noel Kua as quoted. As part of the program of Outreach Committee, the Mount Pisgah UMC started its feeding program last Saturday, May 8, 2021, with the slogan, "Kumuha ayon sa pangailangan, magbigay ng higit na pagpalain." Every Saturday morning, cooked food packs with Bibles, our daily bread, or Bible tracts will be given in front of the church, ensuring that the health protocols are observed. Wala po naman sa inyong likod, lahat po nito ay nagawa at nangyari sa kabila ng mga kalamidad gaya ng bagyo, ng pagputok ng Bulkang Taal, at ang mahigit na isang taong ito na pandemya o COVID-19 na hanggang sa ngayon ay atin pang nararanasan. Dalangin ko sa kapulungan ito na patuloy tayong magkaisa sa diwa ng bayanihan at magtulungan upang makatulong at makagaan man lamang sa mga pamilya na apektado ng pandemya sa kasalukuyan. Shalom. Ang iyong abang lingkod kay Kristo Jesus, Pastor Inocencio S. Malenab, PACC, Board of Church and Society, OIC Chairperson.
Okay, part 4 of this report is about the virtual and online ministries. This is the assessment about our virtual online ministries. Regarding the online Sunday worship services, out of 32 local churches in PACC Cavite, 13 or 40.6% of our churches are doing online Sunday services satisfactorily. 10 or 31.3% very satisfactorily, and 3 or 9.4 excellently. The remaining 18.7 or 6 churches, 2 of them still improving their online worship. 1 doing blended face-to-face and online, and 1 on-site worship due to limited internet capabilities among members, and 1 only face-to-face. So magmula ho ng pandemic na yun, meron tayo nagwo-worship na isang church. Okay, face-to-face. The next is about the online Sunday school and online Bible study. Out of 32 local churches, 4 or 12.5% of local churches are conducting online Sunday school or Bible study excellently. 7 or 21.9% doing it very satisfactorily. Another 7 of local churches do it satisfactorily. 6 or 15.6% do not have online Sunday school or online Bible study. 3 or 9.3% of churches conducted online interactive Sunday school for children. 3 or 9.3% conduct it face-to-face, and 2 or 6.2 are doing blended online and in-person services. Okay, regarding online midweek service or prayer meeting, out of 32 local churches, 34.4% or 11 churches are conducting midweek services or prayer meetings satisfactorily. 18.8 or 6 churches are conducting their services very satisfactorily, and the same number of churches still needs to improve their online midweek or prayer meeting. The remaining 28% or 9 churches, 2 of them are doing it excellently. 6 local churches had no midweek service or prayer meeting, and 1 church is doing it face to face. Okay. The next is about our virtual care group meeting. There are 30 local churches that responded to this question. 2 local churches were not able to conduct virtual online care group meeting or small group ministry. 3 churches or 10% were able to conduct it excellently. 6 churches or 20% conducted it very satisfactorily. 9 churches or 30% have done it satisfactorily. 8 churches or 26.7% still needs improvement. 2 are still having on-site care group meeting. 1 able to meet from September to December 2020, and 1 in-person Bible study every Friday. Okay, so during this pandemic, we have also part of our survey is how churches are doing in their ministry outside, particularly an additional preaching points. There are 22 local churches that have additional preaching points in this chart. 7 in local government units, 7 in mission extensions, 4 in their mission churches, 3 in the members' businesses and establishments, 2 in non-government organization, and 1 in a school. These additional preaching points are important ministries that need intentionality in creating innovative and effective programs for sustainability. Number 5 is about the new innovative ministries and best practices. From this table, coming from our March 2021 survey, out of 32 local churches, 27 responded for what new thing or new innovative ministries they are doing. As I observe, most of these 27 local churches were able to make proper adjustment and modification in doing their ministries, but few are still struggling to adjust and still pursuing the old ways of doing ministry. So let us look further as I categorize it to the now model of ministries. First, the old ways in doing the ministry, and next is the online ministries. So this is the on-site and in-person ministry. This is the old ways we do ministry. So nilagay ko po dyan, this is before the pandemic. So regarding our nurture ministries, meron tayong mga ginagawa na daily or twice a week o 2 or more na mga gawain kada linggo. Yung care group, per day organization or age level. Meron tayong mga Bible study na parehong kinoconduct ng mga workers at mga mga leaders natin. And then merong visitation na ginagawa during mga special occasions, birthday, wedding. Ayan, para sa nurturing ministry yon. And then yung church DVCS natin. Sa meron din tayong mga midweek services, merong midweek prayer meeting. And then yung Sunday worship natin, Sunday school, at saka yung mga lay organization activities. At meron din tayong ginagawa, yung always natin, yung mga seminar, workshop, na mga gawain about nurture ministry at yung mga lay organization activities. Sa outreach ministry din natin, yung daily or 2 or more days per week meron tayong mga visitation ministry na ginagawa, lalo na intentional kapag mayroong mga may sakit sa hospital or sa kanilang bahay. Minsan we conducted funeral services. Yung extension DVCS natin, bagamat nurturing pag sa loob ng church, outreach naman kapag sa labas ng ating simbahan. And then ginagawa din natin yung model na ministry, yung medical, optical, dental, ayan, na mga gawain natin na madalas ginagawa natin during anniversaries. At marami pang ibang mga outreach ministry na ginagawa. And then may mga seminar, workshop tayo regarding the outreach ministry. And then regarding naman sa witness ministry, meron tayong mga extension mission points na pinupuntahan natin. Meron mga extension din tayo for our DVCS. At ginagawa din natin yung mga seminar regarding witness ministry, yung evangelism, and then meron tayong mga regular church council meetings, no, para sa program area at saka sa administrative, at saka seminar on leadership on various issues. Ito po yung ginagawa natin before the pandemic. Ngayon, dito pong online ministries, no, ito po yung isa sa mga magandang i-consider natin. Ganun pa rin naman ho, pero ito po ay online lahat, no. So, doon po sa nurturing ministry, so meron tayong daily devotion na ginagawa natin online. Meron tayong mga chat group o care group sa mga age level ministry natin, o kaya pwedeng by lay organization. Meron ding online Bible study. Meron ding ginagawa na nagsishare tayo ng mga Bible readings and prayer online, no. Yan po ay nilalagay natin ibibigay natin sa ating pang-araw-araw na mga miyembro para sa kanilang pwedeng sundan ng mga Bible readings, particularly the lectionary at saka yung kasama ni Jesus. Ayan. Ngayon pag midweek, meron tayong midweek worship. Yung iba dito sa mga churches natin, meron daw silang ginagawang Zoom mustahan. Nagsusum sila at nagkakamustahan doon. And then online huntahan. At syempre yung part ng witness ministry natin, yung mga prayer meeting. Sa Sunday naman, online or virtual or kaya recorded na mga virtual Zoom na meeting or live na worship service. Ginagawa din natin yung FB o kaya YouTube live. Meron din yung blended online and on-site. No, kapag wala hong mga restriction, we can do it blended na merong online at meron namang kasama na doon sa face-to-face. And then yung Sunday school din, no? Ganun din po yung ginagawa natin. Meron din tayong mga monthly or bi-monthly na suggestion na webinar para sa nurturing ministry, ganun din webinar for outreach, for witness, at yung Zoom meeting na ginagawa rin ng ating mga church council, mga regular meetings na yan, at webinar on leadership on various issues or topics para sa leadership. So napakahalaga po na itong mga ministrong ito patuloy nating ma-enhance, no, ma-modify at magawan ho natin ng talagang maliwanag na mga programa at magkaroon ho tayo ng mga model on how to do this kind of ministries. Okay, so yun po. So gayon din po, the next part, at ito na po yung last part natin, is the needed webinars or training and workshop. No, based na rin po doon sa huling senior ko about the Now Ministries. Meron po tayong mga churches out of masasabi nating 32 local churches natin sa ating annual conference, 16 responded, no, na sinabi nila ito yung mga pastor natin na mga needed webinars or training workshop para sa panahon natin ngayon. So what I did is I categorize it doon sa Nurture Outreach Witness. Yan, nakikita ho natin sa susunod na slide. So ito ho yung lumabas na mga suggested by our PACC workers, no. So Basahin na lang po ninyo, hindi ko na iisa-isahin, pero i-highlight ko lang po yung ilang mga mahalaga. Halimbawa sa Nurturing Ministry, yung webinar, training regarding the new approaches in conducting confirmation and membership classes using a social media platform. No, yung value of tithing and giving. Sabi nga ng isang pastor, despite non-attendance, no, ano ba yung ginagawa ng mga churches? Kaya kahit wala silang attendance during Sunday worship, ay tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung kanilang pagkakaloob, at yung mga miyembro ay nandun pa rin yung willingness to give their tithes and their offering. Tapos yung disciple-making process of the local church amidst this challenging time, kailangan din po natin ng seminar. At syempre yung dimensions of prayer, no, yung virtual training for our youth sa kanilang music ministry. Karamihan ng ating pong mga kabataan ay nandun sila ngayon sa music ministry, online or virtually ginagawa nila. So yan po yung mga example, no? At dito po sa outreach ministry, how to cope up sa various challenges, sa pandemic, yung new normal or this challenging time, yung livelihood, health, and wellness seminar or webinar on community development, webinar on livelihood for unemployed. Yan po. Under witness ministry ay yan pong seminar on communication and discipleship. So marami po. And then about leadership, nandiyan po lahat yung duties and responsibilities of church officer, no, starting with the lay leadership, tapos yung spiritual leadership amidst pandemic, meron din ho dyan, and then leading a small group ministry, a new approach. At sa mga technical aspect naman, ayon doon sa suggestion ng mga pastor natin, yung virtual enhancement, yung technical skill, para matutunan ng mga pastor at yung mga naka-in-charge doon sa atin pong pagkukonduct ng ating mga online na mga meetings, online worship. So, kailangan ho nila yung mga technical know-how. So, this is about technology, no? Technological skills development for pastors. No? At yung conducting effective virtual meeting na kailangan ho natin ngayon yan. Tsaka ito ho yung isa pa na napakahalaga sa mga pastor at sa mga may kinalaman sa paghahanda ng mga recorded na mga videos, no, yung skills development in video and audio editing. So ito pong lahat ng ito ay mga suggested na mga gawain natin for the future, no, hindi lang habang pandemic ay maipagpatuloy natin. So ito po yung kabuuan ng report to our beloved Bishop Seri Francisco, to my fellow workers, our respected lay members of this conference, and friends. As we face various challenges brought by this pandemic, let us keep reminding ourselves that when we face difficult times, we know that these challenges are not sent to destroy us. They are sent to promote, increase, and strengthen us. Like what Bishop Seri said regarding our Mayor's theme and the content of his Episcopal address, which I took as a challenge for this annual conference for us to continue our journey of faith in mission, witness, and service amidst the pandemic. Therefore, go. It's my fervent prayer that God will continue to bless and empower us as we face the challenges ahead of us. Let the spirit of love, joy, peace, and unity inspire us all to move forward. To God be the glory. So this is my report, Bishop. The next is about the recommendation. So if I can proceed, the recommendations are, we have only two recommendations. Number one, that this annual conference to adopt and study the online ministries presented in this report, see page 10, and refer this to the conference's proper committees for planning, programming, and scheduling for implementation to our respective local churches and mission extensions. The number two recommendation, that we refer the suggested webinars and trainings presented in page 11 including the documents in the appendices on page 13 to 17, to the connectional ministries for study, adoption, and implementation as stipulated in our 2016 Book of Discipline, paragraph 608.1 to point 4. So, this is my report, Bishop, and recommendation.